And officially say welcome to everyone. So glad that you could take the time to join us this evening. And I know it's early evening for those of you on the West Coast. It's getting late on the East Coast. So we're just so thrilled that you're all here. Take a quick minute to just remind everyone that you can communicate with us via the chat box. You're going to see down at the bottom of your screen there, it looks like a little microphone, and all of you look like you are masters of Zoom. I love that. So you can see the unmute and mute button. During the presentation, if you wouldn't mind staying muted, that would be great, just so that we don't have the background noise. And then, of course, there's the chat box. So that little, or I should say the big arrow right there by the sea lion, shows where the chat box is. And you're welcome to send us messages throughout. If you have a quick question, please type it in there, and we'll make sure that we answer all of them at the end of the program. And then, of course, if you would like to adjust the screen size, you're going to notice that on some screens, either one side or the other is too small, too large. You can grab that little bar in the middle and slide it back and forth to adjust the size of the picture. So with that, we would like to formally welcome and say thank you to our guests this evening. We are truly thrilled. Christopher Sizemore, officially, from Celebrity Cruises, has been a very long time friend, and we are so grateful for you being with us, and thank you for helping us to arrange this virtual event today. And
our pleasure.
Susanna, what a pleasure it is to have you with us. If there's anyone who knows everything about Galapagos, it is you, and we are so honored that you would take the time to join us today. And so with that, I'm actually going to say thank you and invite you to go ahead and take over the program. So I will take us to our friend, the marine iguana, and turn the controls over to you.
Thank you very much. I am going to go right ahead and do that and share my screen. Hopefully you can see it. Is that okay? Excellent. Chris is saying yes. Excellent. Well, first of all, I want to thank each and every one of you. First, for the invite. It is truly my pleasure to be here with you today, so I can share with you truly my passion, what I do every single day of my life, which is live and breathe the Galapagos Islands. I am fully dedicated. I'm a fully dedicated resource to sales and communication for our Galapagos product. And without further ado, I would like to share with you this incredible legendary journey which awaits you in Galapagos. Celebrity Cruises offers truly seamless, environmentally conscious vacation celebrity style, and that does have a meaning, and it's different because there is truly a difference between visiting and experiencing. And I'd like to share with you a little bit of the science and why this area of the world is truly so important.
I don't think we're hearing any sound, Susanna.
I'm going to try that again to make sure that we hear the sound. Let's see. Is that better?
Yes, thank you.
Excellent.
The Galapagos Islands are unusually rich in wildlife, in large part because of the ocean.
Here, deep, cold, nutrient-rich water is forced to the surface, setting off a chain of events that give rise to a wealth of strange and wondrous animals. The Galapagos lie at the intersection of several major ocean currents, but it is one current that is especially important.
At the equator, a current within the ocean's depths flows eastward, striking the submerged base of the Galapagos Islands. This sets in motion the very essentials for the creation of life.
As the equatorial undercurrent strikes the base of the islands in the west, cold, nutrient-rich water flows to the surface and acts like fertilizer. Algae and phytoplankton bloom, producing the food that fuels the island's life.
The phytoplankton, or tiny drifting plants, are eaten by small drifting animals or zooplankton, which then feed a wealth of other creatures in the islands.
Fish and squid eat the zooplankton and then are the prey for larger creatures.
Birds plunge and dive into the sea, where sea turtles and marine iguanas swim. Sea lions, penguins, sharks, and even whales come to feed.
When upwelling is the strongest, Galapagos is abundant with life. Animals reproduce. The young survive and juveniles grow strong.
With strong upwelling in the west, marine iguanas grow large and dense in population. Penguins and flightless cormorants thrive, as does the underwater life. In the Galapagos, many of the animals are unique or endemic to the islands.
In the Galapagos, the ocean provides the fuel that sparks life. And here it is rich, wild, and like no other place on Earth.
I can assure you she's absolutely right when she says there's no other place like it on Earth, because it truly isn't. Dr. Prager has been our science advisor for over 17 years now, and she is truly the person that brings that validation from a science perspective to all of our programs. Before we get into all the details about the flora, the fauna, the terrain, the geography, I want to give you a little glimpse about our programs. Our cruises are 7 nights and they do depart from Galapagos. All of our cruises have pre and post stays. Our 10-night package, which is our most common package, actually it is our most popular package, begins in Quito, Ecuador, and it offers a 2-night pre-stay in Quito. The reason we do a 2-night pre-stay in Quito is because you cannot get on the same day to Galapagos. It requires a 1-night overnight in mainland Ecuador. But more importantly, it's because we want to make sure that all of our guests get a chance to spend at least 1 day in Quito. Quito is a World Heritage Site. It's a capital city. It is a fantastic place to visit with a lot of richness in their culture. But it also allows you a 24-hour period for any type of flight arrangements. If you're truly thinking about going to Galapagos and then you miss it because you had any type of flight disruptions, it would truly be a shame. So our 10-night package, which includes a 2-night pre-stay, fully all-inclusive, by the way, all of our packages are all-inclusive, are truly fantastic. They do everything that you need, from your transfers around to the arriving at the airport, your 2-night stay, your hotels, concierge service, fully guided tours, incredible meals, all from a gastronomic standpoint. Remember, we're a foodie brand, so we want to make sure that you not only experience the new country, but you also taste the new country. So it is truly a very inclusive program. On board the vessel, we're also fully all-inclusive. Everything is included for you. That means shore excursions, at least 2 per day, sometimes 3. All of your beverages, open bar, yes. Everything is included. Gratuities. Everything that you need for this experience is included in the price of the cruise. I want to show you a few pictures of what happens in Quito. These are some of the sites that we visit during that 1 day in Quito. Beautiful capital city. And we have an additional package that continues on to Peru, including Lima, Sacred Valley, Cusco, and amazing Machu Picchu. So you fly from continental US into Quito, Ecuador. You land in Quito. Most flights arrive pretty late at night. Then the next day, we offer the full day tour of the city with the highlights. And then the day after that, we fly on to Quito. This is the hotel. It's smack in the middle of the city that we use. We've had a relationship with the JW Marriott for over 16 years now, and they truly understand what our guests are looking for, that high level of attention to detail that we want to make sure all of you get when you get to Ecuador. And then on day number 3, actually, you board an exclusive flight. This is a flight that is fully dedicated to celebrity guests, a nonstop flight that flies you from Quito into Baltra, Galapagos. The flight is a little bit under 2 hours, And again, it's fully dedicated to our guests. And right now we use Airbus 319 or 320s with Avianca. And if you're like me, you always want to know what type of airplane you're going to be flying. So when people ask me, am I going to be flying on a real airplane? I know exactly what they mean. They want to know what they're flying on. So this is the type of airplane that we fly into Baltra, Galapagos. Once you get to Galapagos, our experts, our naturalists, our Galapagos National Park certified naturalists are there waiting to greet you, because for us, it is very, very important that you see it all through the eyes of the experts. So what happens on board, right? We get you to the airport, we get you through all the formalities, our guides are there waiting for you, we take you on these small buses onto a little pier, onto our Zodiacs, and off to the ship. There are no piers like in a traditional cruise way. All of the activities, including embarkation, including getting on, happens on board the ship, right? So we get you on the ship, we get you settled, very personalized type of check-in, very much like a small boutique hotel. We get you on to your room, and that afternoon you have your first encounter with Galapagos, and then a briefing. And that briefing will share with you what the next day's activities are like. The next day's activities are 2 per day, 1 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon, sometimes a midday activity. And during that briefing, you learn what happens in the morning, midday, and in the afternoon. You learn whether you're going to go snorkeling, whether you're going to go sightseeing, whether you're going to go hiking, whether you're going to go deep water snorkeling, right? And you make that decision. You decide which activity you want to go to. There are no minimums, there are no maximums. There is no way that you don't get to do what you want to do, because remember, all the naturalists that are going to be leading you ashore are on board the vessel with you. Our groups are maximum of 10 people. The Galapagos National Park requires that you go ashore with the naturalists, and their maximum group is 16. We keep them to 10 because we want to make sure that you get the best that there is, because Galapagos is all about learning and listening and feeling and experiencing. And this Galapagos National Park naturalists are most from Galapagos, and if not, they have residency there. And they can't wait to share what they know about these incredible islands with you. One of the big questions I always get is, so how close am I really going to get to these animals, right? Are they really going to be there? If any of you have been on a safari, which I'm sure you have, you can remember getting there and having to get on a bus or on a car, on a vehicle, and go out to look for the animals. And it was part of the experience to try to find them. In Galapagos is kind of the complete opposite. You usually have to get out of the way to find the animals. Here's an example of what happens in Santa Cruz. This is in the highlands of Santa Cruz. This is a Galapagos National Park center. And this is a great place to begin to see what these animals are all about. The giant tortoises of Galapagos, especially the ones in Santa Cruz, are highly evolved. They have actually adapted and changed to their environment, especially in this area where food is on higher ground. If you look at their necks and you look at their legs and you look at how their shells are built, these animals have adapted and have become its own species in order to survive in higher ground and in order to survive where food is at a higher ground. Throughout the experience, you get to see so many different things that you didn't think were possible. I'll give you an example. When I first landed in Fernandina Island, which is this island you're seeing here, it's a very volcanic island. Those of you from the West Coast and in California understand more about mountains than I do. I am from sea level. So to me, it was very interesting. I had learned before I got there that the Galapagos came about from tectonic plates colliding. As the Earth was moving, these two tectonic plates collided and these islands came about. The Galapagos have never been attached to another body of land. They are truly unique because of that. Therefore, I'm looking at this island. And by the way, Fernandina is one of the youngest of the geological islands in Galapagos. I said to myself, so I'm on a lava field surrounded by water. And there are these reptiles, these iguanas, that I'm very familiar with because iguanas are very familiar in South Florida. What do they eat? I couldn't see anything around me, and I know they're vegetarians. So I very quickly learned that these iguanas have learned the behavior where they actually dive for food, they graze underwater, and when they come out of the water, they have learned the behavior to actually expel the water that they intake while they graze through the two nostrils that they have in the back of their head. Now, amazing adaptation. There isn't another one like it in the world. These are the only diving iguanas in the world, and they live in the Galapagos Islands. And this is truly what you get to see in Galapagos, whether you're looking at a giant tortoise, or you're looking at a marine iguana, or you're looking at a flightless cormorant. If there are any bird watchers with me today, and I raise my hand because I am one, you're looking at a cormorant, and you're probably saying, okay, Susana, so what's so special about a cormorant? They are all over the world. Not really. The cormorant in Galapagos is the only cormorant that has lost its ability to fly. It actually lives most of its life in the water, finds food in the water, does courtship in the water, actually finds a lot of the material for nesting in the water. So if you take a look, they now use these atrophied wings as part of their balance when they're walking on these lava fields that you see in this picture. Truly remarkable to see them and how they have adapted in this environment. The boobies, probably the best known of the marine birds in Galapagos, with that beautiful blue-footed booby. I think this is Blue. I think this is actually your friend. That's right here, standing in front, looking and saying, my lady in the back has an egg, and I am guarding the nest. Blue-footed boobies are incredibly friendly. They actually interact. Their way of doing eye contact and truly trying to get to know people is quite remarkable, especially for a marine bird. They nest on the trails. They do their mating dances. They're truly remarkable birds. The red-footed booby is a bit more elusive. It does more of a perching in the trees, does not interact as much. And then there is the Nazca booby, a very regal booby, the white one at the end of your screen, with a very interesting behavior. The Nazca booby, this one nests on these cliffs. And interestingly enough, the Nazca booby, most of the time, will take care of two eggs, and both of those eggs will hatch. However, intuitively, the strongest of the two birds understands that mama only have enough strength to go out and fish and bring enough food for one. So therefore, the strongest of the two makes sure that he gets, or she, all the food that the mother brings, and leaves the other one out of the nest. Therefore, it's ensuring that the survival of the strongest and the survival of the species is guaranteed. Incredible behavior that you get to see when you are in Galapagos. The waved albatross, for those of you that are grandparents and saw The Little Mermaid as many times as I have, this is the big marine bird. This is the guy that was trying to take off during that movie and was so heavy that couldn't take off. Well, it is true. They come to Española Island. This is a migrating bird, the one migrating bird in Galapagos. It comes to Española from about January, February to about October, November. They mate, they reunite. Most of them mate for life. And they actually together as a couple take care of their egg, take care of their young, and teach their young how to fly. This particular island is also called, in a friendly way, the Galapagos Albatross Airport. The reason for that is Española has these beautiful big cliffs that these birds have learned to use to teach their young how to fly. They're such big birds that they have a hard time taking off from the land. So what they do is they spread their wings, they run towards the edge of the cliff, they wait for the drift to come up, they jump off, and they go flying. So this is just incredible behavior, whether you see them nesting, you see them teaching, you see them in their courtship. It is really grandiose to be able to see the albatross in Galapagos. The terrain is very diverse. You can find yourself in a beautiful white beach one day, like the one you see here. The next day could be a red beach. The day after could be a green, gray, black beach. All not only because of the mineral composition of the water, but also due to the composition of the fish. Remember, the fish eat the coral, digest it, get rid of it, and that waste becomes part of the sand and the terrain that you see. So next time you're walking around a beach, remember what I just said today. The opportunities to snorkel, to be underwater are countless. Remember, we will outfit you all with your own equipment, your mask, your fins, everything that you need, including a wetsuit. During your briefings, you will learn what the next day's activities include. If you wish to go snorkeling, we will let you know to bring your equipment, what time we're going to be getting off to go snorkeling, and you will snorkel sometimes from the beach, sometimes more advanced. But what I can guarantee you is that what you will see will be unlike any place in the world you have ever been. These animals come and blow bubbles in your face, they pull your fins, they play around with you. It is truly quite an experience when it comes to what you see underwater. Here's a picture of one of our guests with a sea lion blowing bubbles in his face. I was there that day. It was quite remarkable to see them. I can sit here and talk to you about Galapagos until tomorrow, but I also need to show you what our fleet looks like, right? Celebrity Cruises offers 3 amazing vessels in Galapagos, from a 16-guest catamaran that's intimate and truly amazing, a midship size, which is Celebrity Expedition with 48 passengers, and our latest and greatest Celebrity Flora, built purposely for this destination. This amazing catamaran is what we call for sailors at heart, people that truly want to have an up-close and personal experience, not only with the destination, but with the vessel. It is authentic and it is very intimate. So if you have 15 of your family members and you want to do something that's truly unique and special, you can certainly do this. And she is incredible. These are some pictures of what she looks like. All the amenities a Celebrity Cruise offers, with outdoor and indoor dining, of course, your own chef on board. Very, very intimate. Then Celebrity Expedition. This is the ship that started it all for us in Galapagos 17 years ago. Expedition was originally 100 passengers. She now carries 48. So imagine the amount of space that you have on this vessel. She is the one that brought luxury to the Galapagos Islands. We were the company that opened this whole new market for people to experience a true land experience that was genuine, that was raw, that it is what it is, and then come back to amazing accommodations, incredible service, and amazing cuisine. So Expedition offers it all for 48 guests. Outdoor spaces, indoor and outdoor dining. This is our main lounge. This is where all of those briefings happen. This is our great bar where our guests get together after every activity to just share what they saw. Our restaurant, Darwin's Restaurant, all of our food here is served a la carte and it's all fresh. And all of our menus are crafted by our Michelin star chefs. So this is truly a great culinary experience that includes authentic, genuine local food and celebrity dishes is what our guests are looking for, a combination of the two, our favorites. Accommodations. And then Celebrity Flora, a couple of years ago, because we had been so successful, especially with Expedition, the company decided to really embark in a very different project. And that was to build a ship for the first time that was purpose-built for Galapagos. This ship has every environmental bell and whistle you can imagine, from dynamic positioning that allows us to be in position without the use of anchors, to the very best reverse osmosis water filtration systems, to carbon emission reduction. We even use air conditioning water, condensation water for our laundry services. It is truly a remarkable vessel. want to share with you a short video that shows you a tour and some of the comments that we're getting from our guests. The idea was to build a vessel that was complementary to the destination. If you look at the materials, if you look at the finishes on this vessel, you will see how much they mimic the destination that they are in. It makes sense, it fits. Every bed faces outward. So no matter where you are in your room, including in your bed, you are as close to this destination as you can possibly be. Every room is a suite. Every room offers incredible views, including balconies with all of our staterooms and suites. Flora is truly unique. From offering the expert programming of Dr. Prager, which by the way is throughout our fleet, to our social and eco-responsibility programs, local materials, our great grandmother, she's an ex-minister of the environment and an ex-president of the International World Wealth Fund. Everything that we do is actually because we care about the communities that we sail in, especially in such a unique place in the world. Whoops. And because I know that you're dying to ask me, I want to make sure that you know that we have an incredible offer. And this offer is available on all of our packages. And it is a 50% off the second guest. And it includes your air from the US. So incredible package. Please take advantage of this. Keep in mind that all of our deposits are fully refundable until 121 days before your departure. We are open through 2022. So there is absolutely no risk. Pick a date, pick a time, put a deposit that is fully refundable, and we'll be happy to help you get there.
That's fantastic. We're very excited about this. And if you would like to pass the sharing back to me, that would be great. Thank you, Susanna, so much.
My pleasure.
I know that everyone has questions, so I want to make sure that we take that opportunity. So let's see here. Susanna, I know that you have answers to everything. So I've got a list I started writing down from the chat box. Let's see. One of our guests is asking, can you share with us, we were looking at the itineraries with our consultant, and we'd like to understand the difference between the northern and the southern loop.
That's a great question, and and interestingly enough, it's a question that comes up in every one of our chats, right? Because we have been so programmed to look at cruises and look at destination and what I'm doing Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. In the case of Galapagos, because all of our itineraries are set and regulated by the Galapagos National Park. The Galapagos National Park gives us our itineraries on a yearly basis, and they have the right to change them. So what they do is, for environmental reasons, they make sure that we get 2 itineraries to minimize the amount of time that we go to every island, just gives downtime. Also, they regulate the amount of people that are in one island at the same time. So for example, if we have the right to go to Bartolome Island on Tuesday, they provide Bartolome Island for a different vessel on a different day. So you never have 2 ships that are in the same destination. So focus on the fact that you're going to be in Galapagos. No matter which itinerary you pick, you are going to have an amazing experience. They're all incredibly balanced. What's truly important is, when do you have time to go? right? So talk to your consultant about when you have time. Take a look at availability. Take a look at the type of stateroom or suite that you want. Take a look at the vessel that you want and have them work on some numbers for you.
Thank you. That's a great answer. And another question here is about the walking. This guest would like to know about how much walking there is and how able-bodied does one need to be able to enjoy this destination?
Another excellent question, right? I always say that you need to be able to get on and off Zodiac, and you need to be able to go up and down steps. So I would say a person that has a normal life, that is able to walk around the neighborhood, that is able to do the normal life that we all do, is very capable of doing this experience. Keep in mind that every day you have choices. You don't necessarily have to go on the 2-mile hike or the 3-mile hike through the boulders. There is an option for people that choose not to do that. And I happen to be one of them. I'd like to do my hikes more in the morning, and then in the afternoon, do more of the laid back, do coastal exploration from a Zodiac. But I guarantee you that even if you choose to just do coastal exploration, the way that these naturalists bring the destination to life and the amount of wildlife that you're going to see, even if you're just doing coastal exploration from the Zodiacs, will be truly remarkable.
Thank you. Another question just came in. I do have a few more, but one of the guests is asking, what is the best time of the year to go, and what are the weather extremes during the year?
You know, the great thing about Galapagos is that there is no weather extreme. Galapagos is on the equator. It keeps a very constant weather pattern. Now, for the purposes of the question that you're asking me, our North American winter, January, February, March, April, is actually when their waters are the warmest, right? And when the waters are the clearest. So if your purpose is to be in the water as much as you can because you want to snorkel all the time, that may be a better time. Now, the air temperature is hot during that time of year because they are opposite to us. If you're like me, don't really like to sweat very much, I like June, July, August, September. Now, the water is not as clear, and the water may be a little cool for this Floridian, sometimes very cool. Maybe for your neck of the woods, not. But because I have my wetsuit on, I'm okay with that. And I get to experience more of the outdoors in not such hot weather. The evenings are always going to be cool. So you're going to need a little windbreaker, a little jacket, a sweater, and the days are always going to be warm.
Yes, that's great detail. And also, while I remember, we do have a wonderful, it's kind of a little cheat sheet that tells you about all the different migrating patterns and what's special about each month, because there are times when there's going to be certain birds, or there's going to be hatchings, or maybe it's when the seal pups are more active. So we have one of those. So if you are interested in going and you would like to take a look at what happens month by month, you can ask your consultant, or you can give a call to that number that's on the screen, the 1-800-258-8880, and just ask for that. We'll send it to you. You could also send us an email. That's perfectly fine. Another question, one person is asking, can this trip be out of a carry-on? They assume that there has to be small luggage due to the plane between Quito and Baltra.
Actually, no. You have an opportunity for a nice suitcase, 44 pounds, and a 15-pound carry-on. So that is not a problem at all. Keep in mind, there are no formal nights in here. You don't need to pack a suit. Ladies, we don't need to pack special heels. We don't need to pack dresses. This is a very casual atmosphere. This is all resort casual. Gentlemen, a nice golf shirt, that you're ready for dinner with your nice khaki pants. So packing is actually easy. And in addition to that, we also include laundry twice a week. So you don't really have to take like 7 or 14 of anything. The only thing that I caution you, bring at least 2 bathing suits. Because if you're going to snorkel in the morning and snorkel in the afternoon and your bathing suit is still wet, that is not a nice feeling to have to put on a wet bathing suit, Kate.
That's very true. Someone is asking here, are underwater cameras available for use, or do you need to bring your own?
You need to bring your own.
Okay. That's a quick one. That was easy. And let's see. Someone's asking, can you spend a little more time on the 16-day itinerary and how that works from point to point?
Absolutely. So you do your 2-night pre in Quito. You do your 7 nights in Galapagos. And on the last day, when we take our dedicated flight back to Quito, the guests that are staying in Quito get off that airplane. Our guests that are continuing to Peru, they have their flight arrangements already, which we do. It's already included. We have someone that's going to escort them with their luggage over to the international terminal. They go, they do their check-in, they go into the VIP lounge, which we also include. They take their flight on to Lima, and at the other end in Lima, we have your celebrity cruise concierge waiting for you. Spend the first 2 nights in Lima. We do all of the sights and sounds of Lima. Then we take a morning flight to Cusco, continue on to the Sacred Valley. We spend 2 nights in the Sacred Valley at the amazing Tambo del Inca Libertador Luxury Collection. I'm sure you're aware, KK. We do our tours of Ollantaytambo and everything you can imagine from there. And then we take the train into Machu Picchu. The last day, we spend the entire day in Machu Picchu. We come back on the Haran-Bingham train all the way to Cusco, and then we spend 2 days in Cusco, back to Lima, and off you go to your house.
I have to say, it's a brilliant itinerary. If anyone has not had the chance to do this yet, there are so many parts of this tour that, as we're talking about it, immediately memories come to mind, and they're all fond ones. And the excitement of going not only to the Galapagos Islands and being able to see all the animals, the wildlife, understanding so much more about this wonderful world that we live in, but then also going to such treasured sites. Sacred Valley was especially important to me, as well as Machu Picchu. And I can tell you that it's, again, one of those experiences you won't want to forget. I do want to mention something that many don't necessarily think about, and that is how great this destination is for multi-generations. We have the opportunity to go there with grandparents and grandkids, and they were a little older, so they were all able to participate in things. So it's not about the kids programs or anything like that. This is about understanding the world we live in, but creating lasting memories that are absolutely amazing, something that one would never forget. I see there's another question here that's just popping up. Visa requirements for Ecuador because of Galapagos.
At the current time, there are no visa requirements for U.S. citizens and even Canadian citizens. Very few countries have that requirement for Ecuador.
And as a reminder, guests, when you're traveling internationally today, it's very important that your passport is valid for 6 months after your return. And that's part of the requirement for getting any visas. But of course, for this destination, you won't need any. I think we've almost made it through the list of questions here. I'm quickly checking the chat box. Does anyone else have any other questions? Someone's asking, are all the itineraries open presently in light of, I think it's supposed to say COVID. So we do have availability coming up very soon. By very soon, I'm talking about the fall of 21, and that's open for sure, and into 22. We're very excited that there are a variety of dates and availability. As Susanna said earlier, depending on what type of stateroom that you're looking for, depending on the length of the adventure that you're looking for, there's lots of different availability. In order to make sure that you enjoy the free air, and what a great saving. So it's really about $750 to $800 is the value of that air that Celebrity's including for us. You do need to act by November 15th. That's right around the corner. So I do want to encourage you that if this is something that you've had on your bucket list, now is the time to make those plans. You certainly don't want to get stuck at home for another year, that's for sure. I want to also just remind all of you who may have not worked with us before that we are not a call center. We are an office located here in Petaluma, California, and we are very fortunate to have been #1 in the US for several years now, because we have such an amazing team of trained travel professionals. So you're not going to be talking to just somebody who's taking a reservation. You're going to talk to someone who really wants to make sure that you are well taken care of. Our guests come back year after year, and we are so honored to be able to assist them with their vacation, because, you know, vacation time, it's rare and far between. So we want to make sure that it's well prepared. Also, we have some other virtual events coming up. We want to make sure that you know about them. We have one for Africa coming up on November 19th. We also have a couple of our wine programs coming up. And so you're going to find that the virtual wine tastings, the one for Central Europe, and also the wine jewels of the ancient world are coming up in December. And we are delighted to have the co-owner of Alma Waterways, Christine Karst. She and I share a passion for the Christmas markets in Europe. So we're going to have a fun event there on December the 9th. I don't see any more questions pop up in the chat box, but I know from our other events that it's one of those things where you sit back and you start talking about when you're going to go, and all of a sudden, all these questions that you didn't think of come up. So I want to remind you again that we are available to answer those questions. We would be delighted and honored to assist you. So please feel free to give a call on the number there that you see on your screen. It's the 1-800-258-8880. You're welcome to send us an email. We also do video appointments. So very much like the interaction that we're having now, if you would like to see and get to know the person who you're working with to help you plan your adventure, let us know and we'll be happy to arrange it. So I'm looking here real quickly to make sure there's no other messages. We want to take this opportunity to say thank you, a big thank you to Celebrity Cruises for joining us. Susanna, we know how busy you are and so grateful. That was a fantastic presentation. It makes me want to pack my bags right now. I'm so excited to go back. And Chris, thank you for arranging this. We're so appreciative. And I think with that, we will say good night to everybody and look forward to seeing you in the Galapagos Islands.
Yes. Good night.
Thanks, everybody.